All right, we have a gold 1 Reinhardt. Now, if you want coaching yourself, feel free to join the Discord as well as like and subscribe. So, starting off as Reinhardt on this map, preferably I kind of like to assess the situation, like what overall is going on, assess like where the whole enemy team is as well as where my team is. So, as far as you can tell, Roadhog's on low ground right here, so you can just overall take this high ground. This high ground should be fairly free in a way. And I mean, overall, as long as you have like a few other players with you, you should be able to like kind of just steamroll the high ground right here. Okay, so Juno decided to stay back with the Junkrat for some reason. And overall, that should kind of like put like a little bit of a hold on taking the high ground just yet. Even though like if you would have had your Juno right here, this would be like the juiciest free high ground and almost a guaranteed kill on like at least one of them in there. But unfortunately, you don't have any supports with you because on top of that, your Ana's AFK and spawn. So kind of just like maybe you can just chill here. But overall, you're going to want to spam group up. You're kind of in the rank where if you spam group up in chat and everything like that, people will more than likely listen to you and they'll actually follow you. But I mean, usually in like low gold to like bronze, players won't even listen to you if you say group up or anything like that. But you're kind of like getting into the rank where people will listen to you. So you kind of want to like sit here for a second, maybe like spam group up, just figure out like overall the situation of what your team wants to do and just try to like kind of persuade them to kind of follow you up to this high ground. As well as kind of pinning in like that, especially against an Ana, very risky. And the reason why I say it's very risky is because Ana v Reinhardt, Ana has 2 cooldowns that like can heavily affect Reinhardt, anti-nade as well as sleep. In the high ranks, Ana's will be 1000% every single like second they see you slip up or mess up or anything like that, or even just take down their shield. They will 1000% be trying to anti you as well as try to sleep you. It is something very annoying in the high ground, but if you can manage to at least bait out most of their cooldowns and kind of just like be able to shield off most of their cooldowns, bait them, and just not get hit by them, you are good. Way easier said than done. So yeah, once again, not really a whole lot you can do, unfortunately. That high ground was free, but you just didn't have any supports with you at that time. And in result, you're probably just gonna fall over and die because I mean, 2 supports in a DPS versus 1 tank in a DPS, there's a good chance you're probably not gonna win that. Right, we're gonna speed up once again. Nice attempt on the pin. I won't blame you for that, even though you missed. Your best bet right now, yeah, just wait for your team to regroup.
Stand behind me, friends. Fewer in number, but greater in spirit.
Okay. A little bit of a tip right here, actually, since the Juno is she following you now? Oh, unfortunately she's not. But I mean, overall, you probably could get away with this still since you are in like low gold. So the second you saw that Moira right there, you jump around this corner right here and you pin. I guarantee you she's gonna fade back. And when she fades back, like she'll probably like land maybe like right here if you like do it quick enough, and then you can kind of just get the pin off and kill her. And I don't think the Ana's gonna react fast enough to it. And then you can kind of just like spam group up, I need healing or anything like that in chat. Then they'll probably end up listening to you and they'll actually start grouping up and like following you. But then you can kind of just back up, maybe play like, a little bit more safe, like right around this corner, or maybe just like kind of like fall back a little bit if your team just overall just does not want to listen to you. Yeah, I mean, so far the only reason why like you haven't really done anything is just because your team hasn't really like grouped up with you and you're not really taking advantage of the comms situation or the comms that you can get. and in result, like they're off like always kind of doing their own thing. Just a simple group up in chat can actually change the entirety of this fight, and like probably could have had a better chance of winning this. But your best bet, wait for them to kind of group up in a way. Just overall be ready.
Control of the payload. Help me move it.
Again, kind of like try to take high ground right here. I see you really haven't learned much of your lesson on pinning straight in. Don't really pin straight in. You could have easily just like walked forward right here, gotten one swing off, hold shield, bait out both on his cooldowns or anything like that, and then just keep swinging a little bit, or just like kind of like keep holding shield a little bit longer and stall a little bit. Now you officially have a support that can kind of like help you out. And I mean, if you have a support up here and you kind of just keep getting healed and you keep swinging, especially in the low ranks, they're gonna drop, but in high ranks it's probably not gonna happen. But in high ranks, they're probably, your team's not gonna be like as dysfunctional in a way. But thankfully though, you got to pick, as well as you can kind of just keep going in now, since your team kind of noticed at this point that you're in trouble, and now look what's going on. I mean, overall Genji kind of backed out though, but I mean, you kind of get free reign up here now again. Okay. A little unfortunate, but I mean, overall, yeah, overall might not be winnable anymore. It's kind of like a little bit tough on like just overall predicting what your team's going to be doing, to be honest. Was that necessarily the best ult?
60 seconds
A little risky in a way, to be honest, just because if you didn't have Juno ult, and I don't think you took that Juno ult into account right there, you probably would have died. But thankfully though, you had Juno ult, and your Juno was kind of able to save you right there. Okay. All right. I don't hate the fact that you kind of like won in their backline right there to go kill their backline first, but most of the time a hog, by time you did it, is probably going to hook you. So your best bet probably would have been just swing on hog. Hog doesn't really have anyone that can help him out, and then just kind of just pin the hog right there and just finish him off. Hopefully the hog, yeah, the hog will still die, thankfully. In result, kind of just like stall a little bit, sit back, don't push too far up, because you're gonna fight, or you're gonna feed and you're gonna die. Yeah. Overall though, so far, like, what have I really noticed out of those first 2 to 3 minutes, I want to say, because that's what you really wanted me to like kind of analyze in the overall like additional information that you sent in. I mean, I guess in a way, kind of just try to get your team to group up with you, because if your team's going to be super dysfunctional like they were right there, kind of like going off doing their own thing and everything like that, and it's kind of just not allowing you to like enable yourself to your full potential right there, to taking that high ground, just spam group up a little bit, try to get your team to group up, try to take that high ground, and I mean, overall it can work out. It's just unfortunate that it took so long. Okay. Nice kill on the venture right there. Could have been a little bit more aggressive on that venture though. Like the second you saw her, you probably could have walked up a little bit more aggressive on her. As well as a little bit of a tip when versing a hog, when you're versing Reinhardt, is I think you did it pretty fairly well. But you never want to be like holding shield the entire time until your shield breaks, and then you like kind of just spur off in the distance and die. What you kind of want to do is kind of like be using your shield for like a second and then unshield, and then you use your shield for a second and then unshield, and then use your shield for a second and then unshield. that's overall what you're gonna like want to be doing when you play against a hog like that. Okay, a little bit of a tip right there. Don't pin shred at an ulting hog. That's the result. Are you gonna? Okay, I was gonna say, I thought for a second you were off the edge right there. That would have been not so great. So just keep that in mind. Don't pin. Just kind of like what you probably could have done is just wait like right here a little bit. Maybe get one fire strike off or fire strike off on the hog. Just while you kind of stall a little bit until his ult runs out. And the second his ult runs out, you kind of just play heavy and aggressive. Nice pin on the hog though. I'm assuming you're gonna kill this Hanzo. Let me give you a little bit of a tip on swinging as well. So let's kind of like pretend this floor is Reinhardt's swing hitbox. So a lot of people might think like it's kind of like in a circular shape, but no, actually his swing is more of like in a square in a way. It kind of like goes out like this and then goes like that and then like that. So kind of like aiming, let's say let's just use this on his dead body for an example. So instead of like looking straight like at them, you can kind of like aim a little bit off to the side. Like I think right here would be better, and you can actually hit them if they're a little bit further away. So just keep that in mind. That's why, like, especially if you see in higher ranks, you can see Reinhardt's kind of like swinging their heads back and forth like that. That's because they're aiming like right here, and then they're aiming right there, and then they're aiming right there, and then they're aiming right there just to get the swings off. So they can get a little bit more distance on their swings.
I'm on fire.
Payload has reached the checkpoint.
Okay. Best bet, to be honest, right now is probably try to like maybe maintain this high ground right over here, or you can kind of just like sit on cart for a second. Just wait until you can get like 3 people on cart. If you're in chat, just ask them to get like 3 on cart real quick, just so you can kind of push up. Because I think overall, if you can get like cart like right in this vicinity right here, and you win a team fight, or you get like a team kill or anything like that, you can overall just push cart with 3 people on, and they won't be able to retouch. Maybe, just maybe, you might be able to get it if cart's like, I think like right here, but I think this is like probably the bare minimum if cart's like right over in this area. I don't know the exact on it, but I usually like to get it like a little bit further in on the choke point.
I will keep you safe.
Okay, you have shadow right here. Cart's a little bit far back. I think it's just now reaching. Yeah, you should be good if you get a shadow right here. Missed a little bit of an opportunity to shadow right there, especially since they have a Moira ult. You should kind of be looking for that shadow a little bit more aggressively. You can kind of look at like overall what happened to your team right there just because of that Moira ult. First off, your Genji died because of the Moira ult, and as well as your Mei got decently low because of it. Although it looks like you're probably, yeah, you're gonna hit a fat shadow right there. Okay, a little bit of a tip with Reinhardt though is when you do that, or when you hit a fat shatter and you have both your fire strikes, you don't want to be standing in fire striking. You want to crouch a little bit and then fire strike, because you're gonna get more distance to the ground, or you're going to be more closer to the ground, and in result of you being more closer to the ground, you'll more than likely hit your fire strikes on more players. So you're going to want to crouch for a second and then just get your fire strikes off. Thankfully though, Juno ult saves the day once again. Very balanced ult. Does not need any rework or any nerf to it at all. Okay. Yeah, as well as getting 3 players on cart right there is like super important. So I mean, if you have a mic, just ask for like 3 players on cart. most of the time they're just going to be listening. So just keep that in mind. You want to like try to get like as many players on cart as possible just to cap point just a tad bit sooner. Because I mean, if they wanted to right there, they could have easily touched point. Okay. Questionable mail. Mess realizing the sound cue on the Junkrat. Nice pin. Interesting first fire strike that somehow gave you some value. A little bit of a risky pin, but if you were taking account for like knowing that she didn't have sleep right there, then that would have been fine. Probably could play a little bit more aggressive right there. You probably could have like walked right, like maybe just right around here and then played a little bit more aggressive on the sim just to kill her. And then the second you either pin, kill the sim, or just kill the sim just swinging overall, or just fire strike her, pin back a little bit, and then just kind of like try to regroup with your team. Yeah. Fortunately, though, you kind of just sat there while your Genji was trying to take advantage of the situation that you created, which was good on your Genji's end. But unfortunately, you kind of like backed off and the Genji kind of tried to finish what you started right there. And in result, Genji died. All you had to do is kind of walk up right here. You get one fire strike off. That sim's dead. And your Genji stays alive. And you probably have a higher chance of capping this point right now. But unfortunately, though, your Ana died as well. So your best bet is just play pretty safe right here. Honestly. Like, you could even... I mean, personally, if I'm, like, in my rank right now and I'm kind of in this situation, I'm going to pin off and get out of there. But since this is low gold, you can kind of play, like, a little bit more aggressively, like, right here. Or kind of, like, play cart a little bit and just stall cart and get cart up as much as possible. Bit of an interesting shatter on the enemy Reinhardt's end right there. And the reason why I say that is because he tried to solo shatter in May and then actually ended up getting ice blocked in result. So that was a bit of an interesting shatter that kind of puts your team up. So be ready. I mean, what is there to work on right now in the current situation? I guess just kind of like seeing if you can get a fire strike, get these guys to like fall back a little bit. Oh, okay. Sorry, I just had the yawn right there. I guess overall you could just like go and get on cart and just contest the enemy Reinhardt. Fortunate. Probably would have been best right there if you would have counterpinned. Just know that you can counterpin. Bit of a risky, even though you do get the kill off right there. That is, I'd say it's like almost, I would say it's like more than pretty risky. I'd say it's very risky. The reason why I say that is because now, I mean, I think the enemy Reinhardt has yeah, he has his charge soon. So all he has to do is really just charge you, and then more than likely you're gonna die. So, yeah. Thankfully he missed. Very questionable ult, though. You're not going to be able to kill this Reinhardt. And on top of that, Ana's looking at you, and she's going to sleep you. And in result, you wasted your shatter. So just keep that in mind. You probably shouldn't have pinned when you were already half health, just because it's not a benefit. So yeah, just overall keep that in mind. Sometimes pinning in and getting a kill, even if you have them, is worth it. But I mean, in that case, it was pretty obvious that like probably weren't going to survive that afterwards, and then you kind of panic all just to try to keep yourself alive, and in result, kind of costed you. Oof, unfortunate. I think you should be fine though. Nice. Pin, I guess, was a little bit questionable in a way. Probably could have just sat on point a little bit right there after you killed the Reinhardt, and whoever wants to try to touch point, you just kill. Are you gonna lose this? Wow. You actually ended up losing that in result. Unfortunate. So, once again, what can you take out of that situation right there? Just, if the tank's dead, all you gotta really do is just sit on cart. Your swing does 100 damage per hit. So, I mean, everybody's basically 3-tap. 2-tap if your team's assisting you properly. Maybe even 1-tap. So all you gotta do is kind of just sit on cart real quick and just keep swinging around. You'll be fine. But I mean, in result though, kind of good enough point right there for that few seconds.
0 to 2.
Kind of just cost you a little bit. All right, we are back. Sorry, I had to check my mic a little bit. Wasn't sure if it was working at all.
3, 2.
Yeah, so
Attackers in
starting off, maybe I'll wait a little bit. Okay,
payload.
so now you heard the Winston jump, you heard him make the noise, so you know that they have a Winston as well as an Echo. So you know that this high ground is going to be very prone to dive. So preferably you might actually want to kind of like stay up here a little bit and kind of just see if you can peel.
If it must be done, let it be done quickly. I require assistance.
Yeah. I mean, overall, it's not your fault on the Genji's end. Again, it's that Genji's fault. But now what is your fault is you're dropping down right here. And where's the Echo at? Okay. Yeah, in result of you dropping though, Winston jumped on high ground. As well as the Moira assisted him. Now they're kind of just like steamrolling your back line. So that's what I was kind of saying. You kind of want this high ground right here is going to be prone to dive. And I mean, look what happened is the second you drop that high ground, Winston took advantage of that. Moira took advantage of that. And they both jumped up on high ground and dropped 3 players. And in result, you were just trying to like get a few swings off on the 2 players that were hiding over there. So, I mean, your best bet was probably just stay high ground a little bit longer. Wait and see if that Ryan or that Winston jumps up. If not, you can contest point if they're just trying to get point past you. Overall, though, it was a bit of a tough situation, though. Probably could have gotten the pin off on that Reinhardt. Or not Reinhardt, on the Winston right there. If you would have gotten that pin off on the Winston, your team probably still would have kept you alive because you wouldn't have taken as much damage just as soon. As well as kind of keep in mind that your Juno can't heal through this bubble at all. So if you sit in this bubble, you're not going to get like, you're going to get little to no healing. So you kind of want to sit like on the edge of the bubble. Same thing as if you are a Winston, you want to sit on the edge of the bubble, but that's mainly because you're kind of like trying to go in and out of the bubble just to protect yourself from damage. Because if you're in the middle of the bubble, I mean, they can just walk in and shoot at you a bunch. So yeah, you kind of want to sit on the edge of the bubble just so you can kind of like peel back a little bit. Maybe just like right here, once you're at like maybe 300 health, kind of just hold shield a little bit and kind of like stall back a little bit, get some heals. Overall, I think you might have actually lost this fight, and that's I said it's the first fight that like you extremely costed your team. There are a few fights that were like you cost your team pretty badly, but I mean that's probably the worst one that you've costed so far. And that's just because you kind of just like went in and just kept swinging, didn't even try to like stay alive right there. All right, nice kills. As well as when you're playing Overwatch, kind of like think of it as like a speed run. you want to like try to get those checkpoints done as fast as possible and as perfect as possible. So for example, when you're playing Reinhardt, you want to be getting those fire strikes as perfect as possible. You want to be getting those swings off as perfect as possible, and as well you want to get those pins off. You want to be holding your shield right when you want to be holding your shield. It's kind of like a good mindset on trying to play a little bit better in a way, because overall your gameplay has been a little bit like sloppy, I guess you could say, where you're not really getting things done as much as like you could be, or you're not like acting fast enough, and you're kind of like being a little bit slow on the actions and the reactions and everything like that, as well as very questionable ult right there. And the reason why I say it's a very questionable ult is because, I mean, you shattered somebody who is one tap. It's not going to benefit you at all. You already, from what I believe, you already won the team fight, so a bit of a waste of an ult.
Adaptive circuits engaged. Reinhardt.
Okay, just regroup, get back. Yeah, once again though, keep that in mind that this bubble, you're not gonna get healing from your Juno through, so you're gonna take a lot of damage if you're in the middle of this bubble. So kind of like sit out on the outside like this a little bit, and like kind of just maybe try to like play a little bit more aggressive, and then kind of hold shield and walk back, as well as constantly be looking for like opportunities you can kind of like shield off your teammates and everything like that, so you can help out your teammates. Spin on the honor right there. That's great awareness, because I probably would have done the same thing on that Ana, because I assume that she probably would have used her cooldowns right there.
Hey, barrier up. Bad guys, heads up.
Your end is within my reach.
Okay, so a little bit questionable why you're just kind of like sitting here, kind of holding the shield and just staring at the I'm assuming you're staring at the Genji right there. I think you did see that Ana go high ground right there, which means they're going high ground. You see an Ana or any support walking around that way, unless it's like Moira, I guess, in a way. But if you see any support that is like a main healer or anything like that walking up on this high ground, I can guarantee you they're probably taking this high ground right here. And in result, you got your Cassidy killed right there, because you kind of just didn't really, you kind of just sat there not really doing a whole lot, so you allowed them to kind of be enabled a little bit more. Okay, nice pin. Overall though, might be a little bit too late. I'm glad that you backed out though.
Much obliged.
Okay. A little bit of a questionable ult as well. So I'll give you a little bit of a tip when you can know, like, if you're hiding around this corner right here and you can know when it's time to ult and when it's not time to ult, is like, for example, if you got like 4 people on cart right here and none of them are like kind of peeking, they're like pushing cart up a little bit, you can see on the top of the map that there's 4 people on cart, so you can kind of like preemptively jump around the corner, or not jump around the corner. You don't want to jump around the corner because that'll delay your shatter, but you kind of walk around the corner real quick and then shatter that, and overall you get value out of it. It's been on the Genji. That time you saved the cast's life. A little bit of a weird rotation right there. Walk like straight through there, you would have gotten a couple more swings off, and you probably would have actually hit something.
Stand behind me, friends.
I am on fire.
More swimmers in the deep end of the data pool.
Okay. Honestly, you could have gotten a pin off on that Winston right there.
I will keep you safe.
It would have been a little bit of a free pin right there. Bit unfortunate right there. The reason why I say that is pinned, Winston hit you over on that side, kind of separated you from your team.
Step right. Watch your back.
Surrender to my will.
Oh, are you gonna survive this? Wow, you survived that. Dang.
What is it now?
Orbital ray is ready to fire.
That was a nice play on your team right there. They actually were able to keep you alive. Cassidy ult forced them back. Moira ult healed you. Genji ult finished them off.
Stand behind me, friends.
Overall, what do you have for ults now? Is just Juno as well as your ult coming up. So, a bit of a question is, I believe like you heard the Winston right there. I wasn't really paying attention to the screen, so you might have actually seen him, but you heard the Winston take that high ground. So, I mean, you know the Winston's going around in the backside. That should 1000% be your tip. You kind of want to rotate back and take.
60 seconds.
You kind of want to just go back, to be honest. Thankfully, you did. Preferably though, I'd rather have you like just get it pin back. Okay, thankfully, Winston died right there. You want to fire strike that a bit sooner. This is what I'm talking about, being a little bit more picture perfect. You want to be perfect in every way when you're playing, like when you're just playing any Overwatch character. You want to get everything off as much as you can, because that's how you rank up.
Much better.
Excavation initiation.
Hammer down.
Nice shatter. Honestly, I don't hate that shatter at all. That was a good shatter. Probably would have been best though if you kind of would have like jumped forward a little bit after you shattered, or after you get that fire strike off. You kind of jump forward and get one more swing off. All three of these guys die, but from what I noticed, you kind of just like sat there a little bit AFK. I was kind of thinking, or I'm like 99% sure you thought you had a second fire strike and was trying to get that second fire strike off. But make sure you constantly move it around and everything like that. You get that fire strike and you kind of like walk up to the side right there and kind of swing on all three of them right there. Even if you die, I guess that's more value than not. But I mean, the Junkrat kind of had like free shots on you because he kind of just stood still right there. That was a good shatter though. I would have done the same thing. I mean, it's just unfortunate that you died right there.
There is no challenge I cannot face.
I guess that's one of just like those unfortunate situations. I mean, I guess you can see if you can somehow maybe come back and win that. It's not really going to affect you too badly. Yeah. Just an unfortunate shatter. That was a clean, juicy shatter. Just unfortunately, you kind of just exploded.
My
But, I mean,
continues.
I don't blame you for that shatter. Okay. Best bet right now, though, is kind of just play safe.
That payload's pulling away. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the only thing that you could have done against that shatter, once again, is kind of just try to swing a little bit more sooner on that. If you would have at least been able to kill two of them right there, you probably would have won the team fight.
Shield activated.
What is it now? Big stack.
Step right.
60 seconds.
Surrender to my will.
You can't stop me. I'm on fire.
Once again, a little bit of a questionable ult right there. your ultimates in the beginning were like a little bit. Actually, I guess just your ultimates in general need to just be like worked on. You've hit, I'd say like maybe about 50% of your shatters have been like decent shatters, but then you got that other 50% where like it was just a little bit questionable. I think you're like probably like stressed out, maybe even like heated a little bit about the situation that you're in. Just like overall mad. But I mean, I think you're just not really thinking when you're shattering. Like for example, right there, with that Moira dying, and like basically, I think you basically already had that like one. So in result, that shatter right there kind of just. Oh, where are you? Oh, there you are. I think you already won that team fight. So I think shattering right there might have actually like badly affected your team. Because now you don't have shatter. Let's look at the ults that you have. Okay, you got 2 ults coming up, but you could have had 3 ults that could have secured the win. So just keep that in mind. You don't want to pointlessly shatter like that. Shove holding shield right there. Honestly, what you could do, and what I would have done, if you see a Reaper kind of fade in like that, you can jump back for a second, like as soon as you can tell when he's going to unfade, and then pin him. Because that Reaper has no cooldowns. And in result... Oh, wait. Juno ult carries. Yeah, in result, if you didn't have that Juno ult right there, you probably would have lost. You got to keep that in mind. Like, you got to take advantage of those situations like that. You 1000% got to take advantage of those situations. I mean, if you're not taking advantage of those situations, you're going to lose. And I can 1000% tell why you're in gold. And the reason why you're in gold is because, I mean, first off, fire strikes need to connect more. Second off, when you shatter and you're going to do a double fire strike, crouch, fire strike, fire strike. That's all you really got to do. You can hit more targets when you're crouched. As well as just getting off your swings. Make sure you're getting more of your swings off, like on the side, each side, like that. As well as, like, kind of try to hold choke points a little bit more as well. Like, hold right here, swing. I'm not, like, saying this is a choke point that you 1000% want to hold. I'm just saying, like, for example, a choke point. You want to, like, hold choke point a little bit more. You want to be, like, taking advantage of this choke point and everything like that. And then, as well as... I guess pinning in a way. A few of your pins were pretty questionable, kind of costing you a little bit. So just kind of pay attention on your pins. A lot of times what I do is I mainly use my pin for like movement of getting in and getting out. Mainly just getting out. And if I like see an opportunity where I can pin and it's not going to affect me badly, or I'm not going to explode after I do use pin, then I'll go for the pin on the kill. But yeah, overall, I hope this video helped you out, and I will see you later.